Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm not celebrating this because these consequences will negatively affect me, my life, and my family, and they will probably affect yours if you live in the so-called West. And what's happening? The date of 24th of February 2022, I think, was the moment, unfortunately, when the West shot itself in the foot. But it's not in the foot, I think, because it hit a big artery or something. And I think the blood is just draining faster than you can produce. And you can stop that hemorrhage for now. So the problem is Russia did not collapse when it was supposed to by the miscalculations of deluded individuals, high-ranking individuals in the United States and some Western countries. And this miscalculation, I think, was based on a delusional worldview, a narcissistic way of seeing things, when you think you're more important than you actually are, and you act accordingly. I think the United States, with Ukraine as being the cherry on the cake, acted in that manner, miscalculated based on an ideology and on a narcissistic, as I said, worldview, which makes you think that you are more important, more strong, or stronger than you really are, thinking that you're the center of this planet, and without you, everyone else will just simply die. And that's not true. And that is the problem here. And that is because Russia did not kneel yet. And I don't see any signs that it will, as long as the same guys, evil guys, that are in charge of Russia at this moment are still there. These are the, I don't say trends, these are the consequences of that particular worldview, which caused an economic situation where we have inflation and we have Eurozone and Germany getting into a recession, economic recession, not good at all. Weapons going over there when you don't make money, you don't produce, but weapons. You have a war or whatever it is in Ukraine that you send resources instead of keeping the resources to your people. Strategically, economically, financially, around the world, the dollar is using its value and the importance as the main or the global currency, and that's going to go little by little. And this is one very concerning example. This is Africans, and we had the South Americans doing the same thing, calling for a single currency on their continent. African Kenyan president calls for a single African currency. The same thing, this is from yesterday, June 16, 2023. The same thing was called by Argentinian president and Brazilian president, and they call it El Sur or Sur, the Sur money, not the Sur, but anyway, the same, one currency. That's another thing. Another thing is BRICS. BRICS, Brazil, India, South Africa, Russia, and China. These guys have, on this foundation, a lot of countries are flocking over there. You got the oil. The oil is not, these guys in Middle East are saying, yeah, we're gonna accept euros, yuan, and other currencies to sell our oil, not only the petrodollar. Now that's gonna make us here work harder for and produce things, start producing things. Why? Because we can't just give paper and receive the product. Therefore, have people working, and we just print some more papers, these guys, and so on, so they can buy the oil for their production. For instance, that's a little So militarily, United States showed its limits. You say not yet. What are they gonna do? All the other guys together, and you put United States and the West, and you still have a balance. Russia, according to Russia, has more nuclear weapons than all NATO countries. That's what Putin said yesterday or the day before. It doesn't mean that's true, but the numbers are there. And I think it's accurate. It doesn't really matter. You don't need 7,500 nuclear warheads to defend yourself. You maybe need 200 and that's it. You maybe need not even 200. You need even less, but powerful, and make sure that they are delivered in a way that the enemy cannot defend itself from your nuclear weapons. Like a little submarine. It comes and goes wherever it wants. You don't even know where it's at. By the time you react, you are in a conversation with Jesus. So anyway, that's a lot of miscalculation, global miscalculation. Economic, political, military, financial, however you want to look at it. These countries, led by United States of America, with its vassal states, the plantation is about 30 states, let's say 40 states, that are, some of them are made, kept here with blackmails and they know better, and some of them are part of the little lieutenants that follow orders what the big boss says, and that's it. The rest of the world is on the fence or are already going to China, Russia, and the other club. And that's bad for us. It's good because it's a competition, but on the other hand, it's bad because these things happen. You're gonna divide the whole planet in two. They will have their own institutions, global institutions. They will have their own Olympics, their own everything. And competition is good, but this kind of competition, I think it's destructive. And you're always a few seconds away from an atomic war. The fact that the Kenyan president calls for a single African currency, it doesn't mean that happens today, next year, or the next 5 years. I'm not saying 10 years. He might, tomorrow, he might be, having a spontaneous revolution in his country because of his alleged abuses and so on. This is the, spontaneous, that's the key word. So, I don't know what's going on, my friends, but I know it's not good. And I shouldn't have said I don't know, but all these signals point out to a situation, a world stage like this, United States and its 30 to 40 countries that are kept over there, and they have the tiger caught by they say tail or whatever, but it's by something else. And the other ones who are just running away and being sick of the, as some people call it, neo-colonialism. Not by occupying, but by, I give you money, you do whatever I want in your country, and I have my own people over there. That's bribery, and they call it diplomacy, and they call it aid. Not AIDS, aid. I'm going to give you some aid. You do what I tell you. That's the same example that I give you with your in-laws. Never, never, never allow your in-laws to give you some money to help you at the beginning when you just get married or something like that. It didn't happen to me because I was from the very beginning, no, that's not going to happen. I'm not married to you. I know you want to help me with something? Okay, but don't come after that and tell me, hey, I have a say in your family because I gave you that, I helped you that. Then give it back and off. I give it to you back. So the same here, this is what it works. Hey, I'm going to give you some aid here, I'm going to give you some aid here, and then you come and say, hey, I would like to this. Like the federal government in the United States of America, when they give all kind of grant and money and to the universities, private universities or other kind of, state-owned, they give them with some earmarks over there. That means, yes, you do that, but then you have to promote, this kind of BS. You're going to agree with this kind of BS. And they do it. So that means they really interfere in your activity. But they wouldn't be able unless you would be independent and strong enough to say, you know what, I don't want that. These are my beliefs. These are my values. These are my convictions. I'm not going to just sell them out just because you're going to give me some money that you don't actually have. US federal government. You don't have that money. You're printing it or you're borrowing it. That's another thing. And they have that power. So this is going to be bad for us. And then you have the so-called climate change thing that these guys are trying to shove onto our mouth by having us have a something that might occur in 100 years from now. And you can't assume these guys then and say, hey, guy, is it what you said? Smack, smack. Too late. You screwed 3 generations by then. It's just as I said, February 24th, 2023, and it's not 2022, and actually it's not even that. I think it's March. It's mid-March 2022, when the Americans step up and said, guys, we do it now or we don't do it. I think they tried in Georgia, when Georgia attacked Ossetia and Russia smacked them back. I think that was Ukraine, part of Ukraine of then, but the West did not say, we do it. Where are we going? We do it. Come over here. Wait. Shit. That's what I think was the first sign. This was number 2, Georgia number 2. And they said, guys, we do it now because Ukraine is right here. We can finance it. We can do everything. We have it on our continent, not the US. US is outside. Always working with others and alliances, not alone. The United States doesn't act alone, always is supported by allies, and those allies sometimes are 20, some 10 out of 194. How many countries are on this planet? So, but they are the allies, but the other ones are always the Axis. Why? Because they try to use the same thing as the Second World War. The allies, and the other ones were the axis of evil and so on. But if the other side calls themselves allies, oh no, you can't call yourself. We trademark this one right here, registered. No. Propaganda and the mass media doesn't work for us, and they shouldn't work for them either. They should work for the truth, but they don't even. So truth, the public in general, and then that's it. But they work for the third tier, which is unfortunately the guys that they should actually expose. No, they cover for them. So I don't see this country going up. I think it goes down, and it hurts me because the project here, the U.S. project, started very well and eroded with some little bumps, giving this right to vote, and making illegal this and making illegal that. But then all our rights and liberties, if you look at them, not all, because as I said, right to vote and this and that were very good, fantastic, should have been done. But the time was as it was. But our so-called rights, like temporary privileges, why? Because they're being taken and given whenever by the guys that never gave it to us in the first place. That tells you just privileges. Temporary, whenever they want, they take it away. Who's they? Did they give me that? The rights is, I thought it comes from the creator. Well, maybe they made a creator and we didn't receive the memo yet. So remember, when they made a decision, I think in mid-March, after the Ukrainians and the Russians met about 5 times to discuss the Ukraine situation, these guys came over and said, you know what, that's it. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Guys, we're doing now or now? Let's do it. And this is the consequence. And they expected the ruble to fall, the Russian currency to be done in 48 hours. They expected the Russian economy to plunge, the oil and gas sales to subside, to be zero or almost zero, Russia to be isolated, India, China not doing business with Russia, and then the Russian population just goes up and take on Putin, and Putin is going to be removed, and the weasels will be working with the West. That was the whole plan. Gone. Nothing so far. Well, it's 1.5 years pretty soon since we are in this BS, and I don't see it going their way, our way, supposedly. And we should not be on their side. We should be on our side. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.